What is up, everybody? This is Keith Jamison. I'm going to go by Gator Guy 231 across the DFS industry. First and foremost, I hope the audio is okay. I forgot my hardwire today before I left the house, so only way I can get this content out is with the AirPods. So I hope that the audio comes through okay, and just hopefully the content is as good as the audio. Or if the audio is crap, then I guess the content's crap or something along those lines. But anyhow, 3 games Saturday slate. Despite the teams being kind of crap, maybe kind of is nice, be crap, I freaking love this slate. Like, this is the type of slate that I am like, all right, like, let's get it. Like, I can't wait, because we have very, very close total, or very, very close spreads. We don't have any minus favorites. We have low totals. And we don't really have any truly dominant players. Actually, there's one. Rafinha is a dominant player. That should be 95% owned. But you got so many of the other floor guys on the slate that, I'm kind of just dying to see other people try to go more goal dependent. And I can just floor this slate out and, hopefully double, triple the money. Maybe make 1 or 2 quick pivots in GPP to get a sweat there, but it should be a fun slate. So just a quick reminder, subscribe, and comment to this video. It really does help not only grow the channel, but, when I'm in between appointments or have a big day, seeing that people do enjoy this content, it definitely, as myself as a content creator, it definitely pushes me to make sure that I get them out there. So I do appreciate it. All right, let's jump into it. 3 games: Palace at Brentford, Leeds at Everton, and Brighton at Watford. I want to start with Brighton at Watford. Brighton, I think, has one of the most egregious misprices on the slate, and Pascal Gross at 7,100. I don't know what DK was doing to the scoring there. Give me a second. Or I don't know what DK was doing the pricing there, but Gross, given the slate, given the options, probably should be 9,000. Yet there he is at 7,100. Even with Solly March in, we've seen him take a majority of sets. He has split at times with Alexis Mcallister. I think both of them are very, very, very strong plays. But Gross is the main guy. He's also forward eligible, so all of a sudden I can go Rafinha and Gross. Forward is done, and done with 2 of the highest floors on the entire slate. So it just makes building really fun. Normally so much of the torture in EPL is filming those forward spots, right? And right away, the 2 best floors just happen to be forwards. So I'm all about that. I mentioned Alexis Mcallister. Lamptey is finally not a defender. He's a midfielder, and he got pretty woefully priced, in my opinion. It's 6,100 I saw. So that just takes him out of play. Cucurella, I think, is interesting. He's sub 5,000. That's about it for Brighton. I don't think this is a slate that I need to go after a Trossard or a Malpe. But if you think for GPP that Brighton, wins 2 or 3 to nothing, then those guys are in play. For Watford, and by the way, I'm going to try to kind of get through this without too much pain, without too long. So I'm just going to kind of go to the top plays, the why, and move. For Watford, there is one guy I'm interested in, Kiko Femenia. Now is on a monopoly of set pieces out of nowhere for them. 5,000. If in, he's a lock and load. There's one other guy actually should be mentioned. It's Tom Cleverley. It's always been the guy that went in. It's he's gonna have monopoly set pieces, but do I trust him? And he didn't take over Kiko, so Tom Cleverley's dead. In terms of DFS, he probably always should have been dead. But Luza is the other guy I think we have to watch out for at 3,700. If in, really talented guy they got from Nantes. Over the window, costs a lot of money, yet he's not playing, so I don't necessarily know what's going on with that. Was it because I think he went to AFCON, so I don't know if there was a wait before he got back, but we saw that game versus Spurs, he put up double-digit floors, was on a monopoly set pieces. So if he's in, he's one of the supreme values, especially with Watford being at home at Carriage Road. I guess the other thing I didn't even think about is when you see if Ismail Assar would be back from AFCON. He got fit at the end of it. He'd be interesting. I didn't look. Literally, it just occurred to me right now. But if in, I think he's interesting. I wouldn't be on him on this slate. There's too many set takers. But, he's at least worth noting. And maybe a way to get a little contrarian if he were to start. So that's Watford. Let's jump over to Leeds at Everton. Leeds is the other main lock on the slate in terms of Rafinha. 9,000. He could be 11,000 and be a lock. He could be 12,000 and probably be a lock. Like, he's just that much of a lock. I don't even think I need to say anything. If you play DFS soccer, you know that Rafinha's on the slate and he's immediately one of the shortlist guys. And when you look at this slate in context, like, there's no way around him. So Rafinha is my go-to. I think Stuart Dallas is the other good forward play on the lead side. 5,100 works well. And then Daniel James, Jack Harrison, Klitsch, all like, you know, last man type ends or GPP plays. But again, I'm really going to favor set takers, so I don't see myself on them much. All right, Everton side of things. Demarai Gray was ruled out. Funny story though, they didn't like have many corners at all after he left. I would assume if in is Andrews Townsend. Andrews Townsend playing like a left wing back is really intriguing too, because that's in a natural spot to cross the ball, especially if Dominic Calvert-Lewin is supposed to be very close. I've seen him in some predicted lineups. If he starts, that gives actual credence to the cross, because Dominic Calvert-Lewin is a very, very good header of the ball. So that would be really interesting. I think Townsend would immediately have a great floor. And there's just yet another forward option. If for some reason Gross or Rafinha weren't in, then we could look to Andrews Townsend. I think the other interesting Everton play is not Richarlison. I think he's fine for GPP, but Seamus Coleman playing right wing back we saw in a really positive attacking role. More like, for those that have been playing DFS for a while, Seamus Coleman of years and years ago, you know, he's fairly affordable. So I think that could make sense as well, especially with Everton at home at Goodison. I would hope there's a lot of excitement, you know, with Lampard there now. Everton really needs a win. They got to stay above the drop. That's too big of a club to drop down. So, Richarlison GPP, DCL GPP. That's it. Nobody else on Everton is worth talking about. Final game, Palace at Brentford. Let's start. We haven't started with the away team, so let's start again with Palace. Conor Gallagher was back on sets, even over Elise. So I think Conor Gallagher immediately becomes a short list top play on the slate. It's like 7,400. We know Conor Gallagher was even putting up 4 points without sets. So just with him sets just solidifies that floor, with him probably being a 10-point score. Now, if all of a sudden you see Luka Milojevic in, you see Eze in. Eze 4,700 stuck out to me. I just don't know how he fits in with Zaha back on the left wing. Elise has been awesome for them. I'm talking about him in a minute on the right wing, and then a striker up front. Eze can play in that midfield three, but Schlupp has been decent. Gallagher takes a spot, and then that center is either Milojevic or Will Hughes. So I just don't know where Eze slots in anymore for Palace. But again, 4,700 if he's in, that is a great looking play. Sorry, as I'm turning, like the phone wants to fall over. Got to get this mount reset up. All right, made the turn. Okay, so that is Palace. I skipped over Elise. I really like him. I just think I like him less without corners. Like, I kind of felt fortunate on the last slate to get the assist from him, because if not, he was going to struggle. Especially once I saw it was Gallagher, I'm like, oh, come on, really? So, but, you know, Elise in the FA Cup almost put up a perfect sofa score weight ranking. Like, he was that dominant. Really good player from QPR. So, that they got from QPR, I should say. So I think he's definitely in play as well in that mid-tier. Joel Ward is the other one I just want to note. Sorry, got like unwedged. Joel Ward, sub 4,000. Had probably like his best DFS game of his life last game. But he's just underpriced for being, you know, a slightly favored fullback. So yeah, I'm fine with that. You know, I would like nothing more on this slate. Like, my holder is like all set takers. Like, that's where I want to go with things. But, you know, if we don't get Kiko, or you don't get Stuart Dallas, or I guess I just get away who my two holding defenders are. I'm not like 100% like I have to play Dallas. I just wanted to see if you could make a whole lineup of just set takers, and you totally can, which is really cool. All right, so that is Palace. Let's just real quickly talk about Brentford. Brentford's just starting bad. They just are not they're just not a team right now that I really want to go after. Now, all that being said, I think they are like a really slick GPP team. We've seen them at home, upset Arsenal start the year. That place will be a ruckus. So it appears saying that Brentford is a good look was such a hot take that my phone overheated on the dashboard and turned off. So before it overheats again, let's just wrap this up. They're interesting at home, but mostly GPP. The only cash play to me is Jensen, if in, should be over Monopoly set pieces, sub 5,000. At home again, Brentford can show up. So I think, any sort of like Monopoly type of set taker that we can get up under 5,000 immediately has to be in play for cash. So I think Jensen is a solid look as well. GPP Tony, whether it's Gudos, whether it's Knaus, all that, pick a little combo, maybe put the goalkeeper, and you go from there. All right, that'll do it. That's all I got. Good luck, everybody. Thank you again so much for watching. Again, if you're still around, like, subscribe, comment. All really does help grow the channel. Give me the boost to do these videos as I'm driving. Thank you all once again. Take care. See you.